Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Top Rope Renegades. This week in wrestling, I'm Kurt. That is RK, and we are happy to be back here on the YouTubes talking about pro wrestling. Big shout out to RK for the fantastic opening video for the show here. Big things coming in 2025. This is our final show of 2024, RK. A quick moment of reflection of what we have done this year and whatnot. And RK's out. Just like that.
Reflect on that, bitch. 2024 has come and gone. This all started. Oh, fuck. It's coming up close. Battle of the Valley 2024. Yeah. This whole idea began. And here we are at the end of 2024. We've had one hell of a ride. We dropped some shows that weren't worth watching. We stuck with the shows that were worth watching. Unfortunately, but as you'll find out in this episode, we did deviate and watch the World's End AEW pay-per-view this past weekend, which was actually well worth it. It was a good pay-per-view. We'll get into it. There is hope there. There is hope there. I'm still holding out hope that they figure it out. Kenny Omega's back, and I mean, that guy's critical to that company, and there is a lot of hope there. There were some missteps during the pay-per-view that I noticed that they still have their issues with, and yeah, we'll get into it. But we did watch it. We aren't completely dead to us yet.
No. And that's the thing. They're not dead to us because there's a lot of people on those shows that we actually enjoy watching. I mean, don't get it twisted. I mean, Will Ospreay is still a joy to watch in the ring. He's fantastic. It was great to see Kazuchika Okada being Kazuchika Okada again. World's End, to an extent.
It really popped when Kenny Omega came out, and as it should, because those two. Well, the rivalry between Ospreay and Okada is legendary. Okada has Ospreay's number; he always has. And Okada, cemented himself as probably one of the best tournament wrestlers in the history of the business.
Five major tournaments he has won.
But nonetheless, those two, and now that Omega's back, and obviously, straight at Okada, those guys have had a legendary rivalry. You want to see some of the greatest matches of all times, period, bar none, hands down. You go watch Omega versus Okada.
The 2 out of 3 falls match, by the way, I recommend that one. And even Ospreay and Omega, but nothing touches that Okada and Omega rivalry from New Japan. And if this is a big if AEW can do this right, hopefully they will with Kenny's guidance for him and Okada down the road. It's got to be Kenny's work for that. Yeah, we did watch World's End. It was a pretty good pay-per-view, to be honest. I saw a lot of people hating on it, and whatever.
Wish me luck.
Oh,
I can't remember if I took these already. I'm dying.
If you're wondering where things, we took a week off. I mean, for the holidays and whatnot, as a lot of people did. Hell, as a lot of wrestling companies did too. I mean, let's be honest. The week leading up to the Christmas weekend and Christmas week, it seemed like WWE. I don't know if you agree with this. Is kind of just like, we're waiting until the new year. We're waiting until January 6th, and then we're going to pick up business.
They phoned it in. They gave their wrestlers a break, and because of what happened at main event and everything being pre-recorded before main event and everything like that, I mean,
it hurt SmackDown.
They kind of handcuffed themselves a bit. But I mean, SmackDown this past week was good. They're back. Yes. They're going to roll right in. January 6th. I think January 3rd is actually going to be a huge SmackDown. It's going to 3 hours. Yep. It's going to start. It's Road to WrestleMania. It starts Friday.
It starts Friday. Yeah, literally SmackDown in the new year, and then obviously, as you all know, January 6th.
I mean, it's probably gonna start a little bit tonight too. They're already promoting one of the CM Punk and Seth Rollins under the same roof. One of the segments tonight.
As RK alluded to, we are recording before we watch Monday Night Raw on December 30th. RK battling a little sickness, me dealing with some stuff, push back recording date to today, but we're here, ready to rock and roll. Knock this final episode of 2024 out. Stay tuned.
We had to come one last time this year. Pause.
Yeah, let's say pause. But yeah, we're stay tuned as well to the channel. We will be recording an awards episode. For the small amount of you that watched the mid-year awards we did, it did not gain much traction. So we're gonna see how this new awards thing does. We're gonna do it anyway.
Honestly, we love the people that do watch us. We appreciate it. Remember to hit that like button and get all your friends to watch as well. But in the end, this is cathartic for me because I get to watch wrestling like 3 nights a week, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. Hell, we watch video clips until 3 in the morning sometimes with a good buddy of mine, and then we get to talk that shit. And honestly, in the end, that's good enough for me. But everybody that does watch, we appreciate it, and keep sending those likes this way.
Yeah, stick with us through 2025, and then you know what? Just a little bit of a spoil, if you may, RK. I'm not going to read the nominees, but categories for the award show. We haven't settled on a name, but I'm sticking with the Top Ropies. The Top Ropies Award Show will be coming. We're going to knock that out and get that other channel.
Full creative control to Kurt on the awards. I had nothing to do with it.
So basically, I have compiled a small list of superstars, wrestlers, whatever you prefer to call them, for each category. And RK and myself will discuss and nominate our own individual winner for the awards. If you're wondering what the categories are, they're pretty simple as every YouTube wrestling show and big outlet would be. You have your male superstar, your female superstar, tag team, booker, company, broadcaster of the year, your face, your heel of the year. We are going to do an honorable mention segment, RK. I know we talked about this. If there was one award that you thought that you don't hear here that you want to just throw out there in the middle of the show, we're going to do that as well. Pay-per-view PLE of the year, show of the year, meaning your weekly shows, breakout star of the year, most improved, rivalry of the year, and the promo of the year, meaning who was the best on the mic throughout the entire year. And I think I have to re-record one of them. RK, we discussed this watching NXT last week. I did the female wrestler of the year, and I left out people that I shouldn't have, mainly Roxanne Perez. And I feel like I took a misstep on that one in the video I created. Would you agree? Should she be in the finalists?
I think you pigeonholed yourself at 5 nominees per category. Go 7.
Yeah.
Go 8. There's so much good talent out there.
Well,
we're just picking one. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, I didn't want to make.
Honestly, Zoe Stark should win Woman of the Year. If she's not on the nominee list, I call foul.
All right, well, she's not on the nominee list, so I guess we'll just scratch that video altogether. But other than that, thank you so much, as RK said, for tuning in to all the videos, for all the love and the support. Stay tuned for the live.
And that wasn't even a shot at Zoe Stark. I actually think she's fantastic,
she is.
I hope she gets over one day.
Yeah. So thank you. Stay tuned to the channel for all upcoming videos. Stay tuned for live streams. We are going to try our best to make it be live for some bigger events throughout 2025, mainly starting with the January 6th debut on Netflix. We discussed maybe we will go live for Wrestle Kingdom
at 2 in.the morning.
Yeah, but it's at 2 in.the morning, so it's kind of like, should we? Probably not.
Fuck it.
But there is a massive storm apparently coming this coming weekend of the Wrestle Kingdom and whatnot, so I'm going to be awake anyway after I get done out on the roads. But I don't think it's going to be that bad. Well, why not? Why not go live at 2 a.m.?
We got a lot of fucking wrestling this week.
Wrestle. We'll get into it when we start breaking down and we get the news, rumors, and innuendo and all that goodness. The hit piece coming up here in just a second. Pay-per-views aplenty to kick off 2025. And let's just be honest with ourselves. January 6th, the debut for Raw on Netflix is basically going to be a pay-per-view in itself. So
I got news related to that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, if RK's got news for it, that means we got the news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the news, rumors, the innuendo, aka the hit piece here on Top Rope Renegades. This is from December 23rd to the 29th The final episode of AEW Rampage ended with Jon Moxley and the Death Riders invading the production truck. Jon Moxley said that he's putting an end to Rampage before forcing the production crew to cut to black. This was such a cool angle and would have been a fantastic way to end the show had it not have been announced multiple times since a new TV deal with Warner Brothers Discovery was struck that Rampage would be ending at the end of the year. Genius idea, horrible execution by our lead writer, RK there. RK, would you like to elaborate any more on that?
I mean, it's all right there. Fantastic idea. Like, had they not announced that Rampage was ending at the end of the year months ago and all that shit, and said it actually on Twitter like 3 days before Tony Khan tweeted out, "Tune in for the last episode of Rampage ever," and then did this angle and nobody knew that Rampage was ending, it would have been fantastic. It'd be like, holy shit, he actually they just ended it. Like, don't go, like, it's done. Like,
right.
Had nobody known, but everyone knew. So it's just like, yeah, cool angle. But I mean,
And and honestly, man, that's not really it is, but it isn't a shot at AEW and Tony Khan for the misstep there. It's really just a shot at the generation we live in. Because Sean Ross Sapp, Dave Meltzer, they were going to dig deep and find out, oh yeah, Rampage is actually ended and report it, even if AEW didn't want that coming out. So it's not like we wouldn't have known. Sadly, that's just
but it also goes to show that Tony probably made this plan like last second. It's like, oh, this would actually be a cool idea. Fuck. And then, I've already whatever. Run with it.
I hope he's smart enough to know after it aired to go, man, we really could have drawn that out and done something cool with this. But probably not.
They really could have. It would have been
I agree angle. Totally. I didn't watch Rampage, but when you sent me that, I was like, oh, that is actually really cool. But besides the point, the next article here, or new headline, it is reported that Fox is no longer interested in broadcasting AEW's newest show, Shockwave, which was trademarked earlier this year, on its network due to the decline in ratings of the company. RK, more on that, I assume?
No.
I don't know where I saw that reported, but
Dave Meltzer reported it.
Oh, well, then it's real, probably. I mean, let's be honest. Dave actually has his toes in pretty well with AEW.
If it's AEW, Dave knows what's going on because he owns part of the company.
It's true. CM Punk continues to be AEW's greatest draw and asset to the company. Tony Khan reportedly believes airing the Jack Perry CM Punk video was a key to getting AEW's TV deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. More on this story by our lead writer on page 17. Okay.
Yeah, so Dave Meltzer, again, being buddy with Tony like he is, he said this. I have discussed this with him. You have no idea how much, and it's always the same thing, that he believes that it was a key to getting that deal. So I would tell you, I mean, in every discussion, there is not even a thought in his mind that he made a mistake by airing that footage. He then goes on to say he actually thinks it was a mistake that he aired that footage. Dave thinks that, and it probably hurt the company more than it helped them. But Tony is 100% dead set in his mindset that CM Punk continues to make money for AEW. If one thing Dave Meltzer did point out, if the one thing that it actually did do was make Jack Perry a star.
Did it?
Yeah, Jack Perry became really popular after that.
Yeah, because of the amount of people that do hate CM Punk. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a terrible
decision. But the fact that it's now the end of 2024 and Tony Khan still can't stop thinking about CM Punk. And
the ratings.
It's now directly related that CM Punk got them their new TV deal and he doesn't even work for the company.
And if we want to be with the other headline here, the declining ratings of the company is why Fox doesn't want to deal with Shockwave. When did the decline of the ratings start?
I can't wait for all the fucking marks to fucking go out there and try to fucking spin the year-to-year numbers when they come out next year.
The year-to-year numbers, because they're going to be horrible. I mean,
yeah, like the end of 2023 to the end of 2024 total average numbers, the year-to-year numbers, they're going to be drastically less than they were a year ago.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that brings me to this. Let's just go ahead because I don't really want to talk much. I'm trying to get my throat under control. Pause. Deal with happy 21st birthday to my sister. A couple libations, a couple drinks before getting on here. Let's talk about the ratings real quick from the week of Christmas, RK, because I think this is going to be interesting talking point here for a couple minutes. Let's just Monday Night Raw USA Network 1.4, which do 1,453,000 with a 0.43 in the rating. But the big one we always talk about is NXT, WWE NXT on Tuesdays, Dynamite on Wednesdays. NXT on the CW Network did 723,000 with a 0.14 in the rating. AEW Dynamite did 574,000 to 0.18 in the rating. Now, Dave Meltzer will have you believe that rating, 0.18 over a 0.14,
it was pre-recorded. There were spoilers, and it was on Christmas.
Yeah, Dynamite was, sure. But NXT was Christmas Eve, was also pre-recorded, if my mind serves me correctly, and did way better. And I don't know. I feel like Christmas Eve, a lot more people are moving around, aren't they? In my case, they are. But
stop trying to make sense out of the argument, okay?
Yeah, there is no sense to this argument. And okay, fine, sure. Let's just get a little technical with it, all right? So yeah, there you had the drop off, but NXT didn't. NXT gained. NXT gained from the week prior. So NXT did on the 17th of December 708,000 with a 0.16 in the rating to 723,000.
They gained on a pre-recorded show on Christmas Eve.
But don't worry,
spoilers on the internet.
That P18 to 49 rating is what's important, and that didn't go up. That went down for NXT, and it wasn't as good as AEW's. That's what Dave Meltzer wants you to believe. I wholeheartedly disagree.
More people watched NXT than AEW.
Simple. And that's the
point. Who gives a fuck what age they are?
And he has said that the rating is what's important, but he has contradicted himself by saying in the past that the viewer number is what's more important. So he can't make sense of any of this, and he's a clown. And I feel like the hit piece, we should have just canceled any news you have and just ran down what a shit year it has been for Dave Meltzer.
The guy is amazing at spinning the facts. He refuses to think AEW's.
Well, and my biggest quarrel, and I don't know why I'm trying to use big words here, but with Dave, he assumes he is right no matter what, and he is never wrong, and it is very evident in his tweets. And it just doesn't make sense to me. How can you we've been wrong per se? Like I have, you have not. You've actually had a good year per se predicting things. But when I'm wrong, I have said, yeah, I got that wrong. And you have in the past too. I can't name this as an example, but let's be honest for a second here. We get stuff wrong. Dave has never got a thing wrong in his life.
No, he's always right. He's been right since the 60s when he was 30.
Whatever works for you, Dave. Whatever works for you. You know what? One more time. I'm probably going to take this away going into 2025. So one more time for the great Dave Meltzer.
Shut up, bitch. Oh, my God.
One more time.
I actually just found a picture of Dave Meltzer here.
Oh, yeah. The resemblance is striking.
Wild, right? Wild.
To Dave Meltzer. With that being said, RK, rumor has it it's kind of been a slow news week in the pro wrestling world. I think everybody's kind of just chilling over the holiday break here. But what news do we have for you? What news do you have for the people and myself? Because I really have not been up to date on the news. What you got?
That's okay. I'll stay dedicated to our craft. Anywho, it has been a slow news week. It's Christmas. Nobody's really doing much.
So what RK just said is that you're not allowed to have a life outside of this, and I apologize.
No, you should. We are here for wrestling and wrestling only.
24/7. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are here.
We are the 24/7 champs of the podcasting world.
We missed last week, but we're good.
We were thinking about it.
We did.
Bandito. It's been getting, vignettes and everything that he's coming back to Ring of Honor and all that stuff in AEW since his injury, and he did return. He returned at Ring of Honor Final Battle on December 20th. He had recently been sidelined from sustaining a wrist injury against Konosuke Takeshita on a June 14th episode of AEW Rampage. He came out, big pop, did a top rope springboard drop kick, smashed his head, is out with a concussion.
That's tough. That's tough.
So plans got to change again.
They'll pivot.
We still got to figure out why I can hear myself through you. It drives me insane, but it's not on the video. I don't know why.
It could be my headphones being too loud, but as you said, it's not on the video, so I don't know.
Anywho, Hijo del Vikingo came back and injured himself at a Progress Wrestling event again.
No.
Yeah, he was injured, came back, got injured, came back, got injured.
Oh man, that worries me about him. He is it injury prone label on him now at this point. He's still young, but
potentially. But Ospreay had to change up his moveset to be more longevity. Yeah. He retired a lot of moves that he won't do anymore because of injuries.
Yeah, that's fair. God, Vikingo is so damn good.
He is very good. Let's see. It is believed that Kevin Owens has re-signed with WWE moving forward, but nothing has been confirmed. Some saying as far back as March he was re-signed. Rumors say that AEW have offered a contract to Matt Cardona. Cardona was asked about this, and he told people he wasn't signed and wasn't signing as of now with AEW.
Good. Well, I mean, let's be honest. He's gonna.
He's already said he already said that he wants back in WWE for one more run. So I don't think he's gonna.
He's gonna get outshined by his wife.
Well, not necessarily. I think he got something there if you pull the trigger. Did you see the video of after Chelsea Green won it and they went to the commercial and Chelsea Green and Piper Niven were just in the center ring hugging and shit, and it was like all emotional and shit because it's all scripted and shit, but I mean being given the chance to win. I mean, you look like first time Shawn Michaels won the Intercontinental title. You look at it any time anybody won the title for the first time. I mean, it's you just made it to the top of your business.
It's scripted, but when Shawn won, was it the world title, the boyhood dream come true? That was genuine, and you could see it. Look at all the Royal Rumble winners over the years. It means something.
It's you're in the business to be the best, and when you get to be the best and the top of the business by winning the titles, you've accomplished what you set out to do. I can't remember who said it now. I want to say it was Shawn Michaels or Triple H or somebody or back in the day, but they're like, if you're not in it to be the best, then what the hell are you? No, Matt Cardona said it. Actually, he did say it in one of his training sessions at his school or whatever. He's like, if you're not in this to be the best, then why are you even here?
Yeah, I've had that mentality in everything. Truly, if you're not in it to try and be the best, what are you doing? Would you go into being like a professional wrestler and be like, I just want to just chill and maybe be a main eventer, and I mean the main event show on WWE, the show that happens before and after and not televised? Would that be okay with you, or would you want to be in the main event scene?
I mean, personally, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, there are wrestlers that have coasted and they don't last very long.
Gotcha.
Everybody has a position to play in the game, though. I mean, in the end, it is an entertainment product, and everybody has their position to play. But I mean, if you're doing what Chelsea Green has done for the past few years and just be the comedic act and move along the show and be part of almost everything, then that's your job. Mm-hmm. And then, it pays off. And she's now the first United States woman champion. That'll forever be in history. 20 years from now, 100 years from now, 50 years from now, whatever. Who was the very first United States women's champion? And the answer is Chelsea Green. That is forever a record for her.
Yeah.
You're frozen. We're gonna finish the news, and I think one of us has to restart. But anyways, AEW had talks with Sportsnet about making the network its Canadian home because it would have been an upgrade over their current contract with TSN, which is our other sporting network up here. Those talks apparently were unsuccessful as TNA announced their deal with Sportsnet this past Monday. That deal being For the next 2 years, TNA Impact Thursday nights will be aired in Canada on Sportsnet, which is good
cool.
which is great. I mean, it's another easy way to watch TNA, but it's also because Sportsnet just lost their WWE contract. So
right, and it's easier on us, the viewer, literally personally here because you have access to it now every Thursday. I think the only way I could watch it was through the TNA Plus website, and it was not live. It was like VOD, I think. I don't know if it was ever live, and I didn't have access to whatever network they were on.
but I think the reasoning behind that is also I heard that AEW was asking for too much money from Sportsnet.
They probably wanted
Sportsnet's
the
like
same deal WWE had. I guarantee it. We'll replace WWE. Just pay us what to make the same deal as them. We'll replace that deal. No, sorry.
Yeah, no. Which is good. I mean, maybe they expand on TNA and they go to further and they carry more content of theirs and whatnot. But that's a good start.
It'd be really cool. Yeah, there's talent.
It is rumored that Charlotte Flair is very, 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 very close to returning. If not, me and Kurt were just talking about this before the show. I mean, maybe Friday, SmackDown, 3 hours. What a way to make a mark. There's been ideas popping up on the internet over Jade Cargill's attacker, one of them being Charlotte Flair. Maybe it was her. The rumors is that Charlotte Flair is going to be returning with her Queen persona, but have a darker twist to it. So
I'm very intrigued to see what Creative can do with her. And I mean,
Charlotte Flair, she's going to cook. She's going to cook.
Put her in the ring.
You think she's one of the best. So,
I mean, I truly believe that. Like, no joking around. I think Charlotte is one. Yeah, I mean, top 3 of all time. It's just look at.
I haven't seen enough from her to make that judgment, but I'm hoping that we get to see her more in 2025.
People will make the joke on the IWC is death, taxes, Charlotte Flair wins the title when she comes back from injury. Happens every time. Charlotte Flair takes time off. She comes back, she wins the title.
She's a draw.
100%.
It's her name. That helps a lot, but she's good at what she does.
The fact that her and Rhea Ripley put on an absolute classic match at a WrestleMania that had no fans and they were still in the Performance Center. This wasn't like
that was when Rhea Ripley wore her like Saiyan gear, right? That's Saiyan gear. It was Dragon Ball Z Saiyan inspired.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was Vegeta's gear. It was Vegeta's gear.
And it was for the NXT Women's Championship. Wasn't a big title on the SmackDown Raw. It was the NXT Women's Championship that Rhea Ripley held. And Charlotte and her put on a banger of match with the only sounds you could hear was them in the ring and the big-ass ceiling fans, the industrial-size fans going on with no crowd.
Hot as fuck in there. Don't need those women sweating. Get some kids all hot and bothered. With it being announced that SmackDown will be going to 3 hours on January 3rd, it is believed that Raw will follow suit on Netflix debut on the 6th, but nothing has been confirmed for Netflix for length of show. I'm going to default back to if it's Netflix. If they want to go 3 hours, they will. If they want to go 2.5 hours, they will. If they want to go 4 hours, they will. They're not going to be held to time constraints on Netflix. It's a streaming platform.
Not necessarily. There is no time constraint. If they want to overrun, they can overrun, I'm sure. That's not going to be a problem. But at the same time, you still have to factor in the people that are watching. I mean, let's just
100%. I'm just saying that
the people in the crowd aren't going to,
they aren't going to have the issue of, oh, fuck, USA cut us off 2 seconds early. Or we're not going to never have that issue again.
Nope. It's not happening again, for sure. And that's what I'm happy about. Just to, we can finally get a finish, and I'm intrigued to see what they can do with that. They can maybe end the show and continue rolling on Netflix Live and doing stuff backstage, whether that be interviews and whatnot for those viewers. And they can, they can clear the arena, but they can still keep doing stuff. And it's very intriguing.
Do whatever they want.
the price that's being paid, they can do whatever the hell they want, and Netflix is going to go for it.
And you know what? Honestly, people, complaining about Netflix and everything and their price and whatnot. It's like almost every single fucking person I know in this entire world has Netflix.
Yep.
Like,
no,
or if they don't have Netflix, they have a way of watching Netflix. Let's put it that way. Right. Nonetheless, almost every single person I know has Netflix.
Netflix did. I assume this happened in Canada as well, where they started really regulating who was using the Netflix. Like you had to be, not just like the whole one account at one time, but like because I was using my buddy's parents' Netflix for the longest, and then it started getting shut down where you had to be on the same Wi-Fi and all this other shit, and they were billing, whatever. But at the same time, who cares? Yeah, the price isn't that bad. It's really not that bad for Netflix.
It's less than $20 a month.
I pay a lot more to watch television or hell, even have StreamYard, which I love StreamYard and everything done for us. It's more for this than it is just get a Netflix account.
I'm just saying, almost everybody has Netflix. And everybody on those posts like, oh, they're raising their price $1, I'm canceling. No, you're not. Nobody's fucking canceling.
I love Netflix, by the way.
When you're bored as fuck, you go on Netflix and you're like, fuck, turn this on.
I'll rewatch what I've watched a million times. Or let me tell you something, the stand-up specials that they put out are hilarious. The comics that they have.
I'm going to incriminate myself right now, but I have IPTV, which if you don't know is Internet Protocol Television, which is basically a fancy way of saying that I still TV. But nonetheless, I still have Netflix, and I have that.
Yeah, exactly. I have Netflix, and I'm paying for, Fubo TV now. I canceled YouTube TV because they kept rising their prices a little bit too much for my liking. But whatever. I got access, and it's going to be great. And I think people are going to – I'm really, really excited for January 6th. I mean –
I think Netflix is going to get more regular watchers watching it.
Well, yeah, there is probably a good amount of WWE fans that don't have Netflix, but they will now.
Yeah.
And that's not just, United States speaking, because outside of the United States – that's the only way you can watch WWE programming is through Netflix starting in January 6th. It's the only way to watch.
You go on Netflix, they already have all the fucking categories and everything coming.
Do they actually? That's awesome. I haven't checked my Netflix to see if they have anything slated. I think they've been pushing it, but
you probably have Raw showing on there.
And let me do something. When I tell you that WWE has been pushing the fact that they're going to Netflix on January 6th, it is on everything. Every show. It's crazy. I'm excited.
They're promoting Netflix on USA. They're promoting networks on CW. They're promoting it on Peacock.
It might have been on Dynamite. I don't know. But no, I'm excited for it.
Imagine they bought airtime on TNT.
They could. Right before it goes back to
Dynamite's on at that time. It's like, we'll pay you this much. Fuck.
All right. When do you want to do it? Right before they go on air. So when the credits start rolling, Big Bang Theory, and then it does a little screen and it goes Raw Netflix. Raw is Netflix. But yeah, I'll say it one more time, man. I'm excited to see what they do on January 6th with Raw.
And everybody worried about the streaming issues. If you watch the football games on Christmas Day on Netflix, they were fine. They were perfectly fine.
I'm telling you, Netflix isn't dumb. They learned their lesson from the Tyson fight. And I think we can agree.
They probably woke up next morning and go, okay, how much billions of dollars can we allocate to servers?
The Tyson fight, I think, at that time, will probably have more live viewers than Raw is going to get.
100%.
So I think we're going to be okay.
I imagine Christmas Day football has more viewers than what Raw would get.
Yeah.
And they were perfectly fine.
And what I mean by that is I think this first episode is going to have very similar to those Christmas Day football game numbers. But going forward, every Monday, they're
going to see a huge peak.
Yep.
Netflix used to not release numbers on viewerships.
Yeah, I wonder if they will.
They have been lately. If you go on MSN, when I pop my website open, yes, I do use Microsoft's fucking web browser. Anyways, nonetheless, MSN pops up instantly, and it shows this show on Netflix was watched 92 million times in the past week.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well,
So
I wonder
they
if that
have
was
been
WWE.
releasing numbers lately.
I wonder if that was WWE getting in there like, hey man, listen, we got to piss off some AEW marks, so we're gonna need you to, do the thing.
Netflix don't care, man. They used to not release numbers at all because they're like, it's none of your business. It's our fucking. I think that's when they were privately traded before they went public. But anyways, I don't know. But nonetheless, the numbers are going to be huge for their AV. And I think the numbers are going to be pretty big. I think you're going to get more casual watchers because it's just going to be on your Netflix. You're going to be turning on Netflix once in a while. Let's throw on some wrestling.
Agreed. I'm with it.
Maybe it gets people watching wrestling that used to watch wrestling don't watch wrestling anymore, but now it's like right there in front of them. It's easy. Everybody has Netflix. Like, come on. On his Poddin' Ain't Easy podcast, The Godfather teased that we might see him pop up on Raw's Netflix debut.
Yes. And you know what? Just dawned on me what they'll probably have going on. There's going to be some backstage stuff going on. Legends will be there. We'll probably get the APA playing cards. The classic stuff going on backstage. Yeah. And I think
everyone's gonna be
we're on Netflix, so he could come out to say, and he could, the whole trip, we can be legit with it. Man, all roads lead.
It's exciting. It's almost this debut is almost exciting as the lead up into WrestleMania.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know if I'd go super that far with it, but you're not necessarily wrong there. Just because the anticipation of who's going to be on there, what's going to happen. Cena.
We have some big ass matches happening that
big
night. Big
matches, which we'll probably break down. If I said it before, we're going to be live. We're going live for that. We can't miss that. So.
I'm already not going to work on Monday.
I think I am actually taking the day off as well.
Because I don't want to risk getting stuck and not being home at 5:00.
Next thing you know, traffic hits, and you're like, "Fuck." It's never really an issue for me to be on time, but yeah, I get it. Yeah,
because you get it at a reasonable start time at 8:00.
8:00. Mm-hmm.
Like I'm usually just racing home in time to catch shit.
Well, at least you don't have it as bad as the people in like the UK who have to watch it at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
That'd be perfect. I'm always up at 1 or 2 in the morning.
You are, yeah.
With Becky Lynch featured in much of the new Netflix WWE material that's been released recently, there's even more talk that she'll be back for Raw's January 6th Netflix debut or shortly after.
I would assume she'll be there if she's been on all of the little hype videos. So yeah, Becky will probably be there. Doing what? I'm not sure. Is she going to insert herself into this Liv Rhea conversation? Technically, she could. Liv is the one who took the title from Becky. So yeah, or no?
Becky Hogan doesn't put people over.
Yes, she does actually. So people keep saying that, and I just laugh. She literally went down to NXT to put over Tiffany Stratton and Lyra Valkyria. But carry
on. WWE Director of Character Development Rob Fee told the hosts of Dead Meat Presents that they should definitely try to go to Raw's Netflix debut, as the show in Los Angeles will basically be WrestleMania adjacent.
Yeah, we've talked about it when they've shown the overhead shots, and if you haven't, of the what's it called? It's not the Crypto Arena. It's I forget the name of it, but it's a brand new arena.
Intuit Dome? Is it the Intuit Dome?
Maybe, yeah. I think you're right, but it's a brand new arena built for the Clippers. Yeah, built for the Clippers. Just the Clippers, but obviously, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it looks like it's made of freaking glass everywhere. It looks sick, and I'm gonna quit, putting it over. Man, January 6th is if you are a pro wrestling fan, and I'm not just saying a WWE fan, if you are a professional wrestling fan, January 6th, Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix is can't miss. It's can't miss.
Oh, 100%. If you miss it, I don't even know what you're doing.
You are a hardcore AEW market. It's probably
and honestly, if you do miss it, it's on Netflix, so you can just watch it when you want to watch it.
And not only is it on Netflix Arcade, it is on Netflix immediately after it's over. Like that. No more sitting on Peacock and we're a little behind schedule and we're in the middle of watching something and it cuts off. We have to wait 30, 45 minutes just for it to be reposted. Nah. We're gonna be relying on RK.
We watching all streams from Netflix for our shows. Fucking no crowd bleeps and no fucking black screens and
RK's taking a big role on being the one that we're using to watch things. That's for sure.
Shinsuke Nakamura may not be the only WWE talent heading to Japan for Pro Wrestling Noah's New Year Days show. Noah uploaded and then deleted a profile for Omos, and speculation is the Idol big man will be Jack Morris's mystery partner in his match for the GHC tag team belts.
Okay, well, I mean, it's good to see Omos is doing something.
Yeah, I actually saw that. I saw a post that he was on their website of wrestlers, and then it was quickly taken down. And then also one of Noah's stars posted that he was excited to get a chance to meet Omos. So it's probably happening.
It's legit.
WWE is considering the idea of expanding the Money in the Bank event to 2 nights.
Please don't do this. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. WrestleMania works. SummerSlam, I think, will work. Money in the Bank? Why?
You can build the Money in the Bank ladder matches better. Because they have more time.
Obviously, I know one night will be dedicated for the women's and the men's, but
so you have more time to build those matches to make them even bigger.
And I guess you could have longer matches, but Jesus,
I'm for it.
That is just WWE. They're like, we're gonna make a lot of money. They will.
I think it works for Money in the Bank. Think about it. You get to build Money in the Bank where you don't have to like fit it all into like maybe a 25-minute match. You can drag it out more because now you're not time restraints.
Would it work for Royal Rumble then?
100% it would work for Royal Rumble. It'd work for Elimination Chamber. It'd work for Bad Blood. It would work for Clash at the Castle. I
don't want them to take away from the allure and the spectacle of a 2-night event. WrestleMania works perfect. WrestleMania works perfect for night 1 and 2. It's perfect because it is the biggest event. Money in the Bank.
I can go to 4 nights. Make it a whole week.
Whole week, yeah. It is already a whole week thing. Yeah. I mean, if they do it, they do it. It's not like I'm going to sit here and be like, well, I'm not watching. No, obviously. And from a business side of things, I totally get it because they're going to make more money.
And it's just honestly, throwing all the joking aside about every pay-per-view should be 2 nights, Money in the Bank works for me because of the ladder matches themselves. So you can have more time to work with them.
And I don't, let's not get it twisted. Money in the Bank is one of my favorite pay-per-views. It goes like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam. Money in the Bank overtakes Survivor Series for me anymore. I'm not the biggest Survivor Series fan anymore since they switched to just the straight-up War Games stuff every year. I was more of a fan of the traditional Survivor Series, tag matches and whatnot, and we haven't seen those, and I loved those. I loved the, I don't know if you weren't watching during the time, but it was when the main 3 champions.
Isn't every New Japan Pro Wrestling pay-per-view basically a Survivor Series?
Yeah, because there's so many tag matches. But no, you weren't watching when the main champion of each 3 brands. That was one of the coolest pay-per-views when it was like, I think it was AJ Styles versus, I don't remember, man. I don't want to. It was AJ, Adam Cole, and maybe Brock in a match, or Braun. I don't remember exactly, but it was really cool when they had NXT as a designated 3rd brand at that moment, and it was a triple threat match between the main champions. And even if you just do Raw and SmackDown, the main champions going 1-on-1, but I think we can both agree, RK, there's really no such thing as a legit brand split.
No.
It's never worked.
I think that they went to the War Game style because they found that the tag teams making the teams were growing stale in the way they were.
That's fine, but I would like, this is just me being a fan, I would like at least one on the card, not just War Games matches. Keep a little bit of that classic feel to it. Like we discussed, I thought it was a perfect setup for the Wyatt 6 to have the elimination style match against Karrion Kross and The Miz and the Final Testament. I thought that would have worked great for an elimination tag style match, but so we go, RK.
Regarding talks of booking John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, it is noted that any creative plans would be subject to reworking to fit into The Rock's vision if he wants to wrestle against one of them. He's been reported that it's been. Can you let me finish fucking talking?
Oh,
it's been reported that Moana 2 will need to do reshoots, and that he won't be available for WrestleMania. So moving forward, they have John Cena versus Cody Rhodes and CM Punk versus Roman Reigns is the initial plans right now.
For the world titles on both ends there?
I don't know how, but that's the talk right now is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes and CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
Well, no, I was just being a smartass when I cut you off because what they were saying is if The Rock can make it, that will be the plans. But we've heard it all year from Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp. He's not in the plans. He's not in the plans. Shut the fuck up. The Rock is in the plans if he wants to be in the fucking plans.
He can make it. Yeah.
Right. But they were dead set on he's not going to be there. He's not going to be there.
But as of right now, apparently Moana 2 needs reshoots. So,
because I do remember the report was that Moana 2 was done. I didn't know that the reshoots were happening now. Which isn't it an animated film?
I don't know. This is the live one, action one. I don't know what. I don't really follow it. It's Moana. Like
it is the live action. I want
to say thank you
because Moana 2 is in theaters now.
So it's live action one. But nonetheless, it's rumored that production needs reshoots and that he won't be available. So the initial plans right now are John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. How they get there, whatever. If they get there, whatever. But it's rumors, so it could be The Rock just randomly showing up.
I'm not necessarily worried.
And Cody Rhodes having to force the hand of WWE to tell The Rock to fuck off.
He's done it before. Basically.
Yes.
Pushing the Punk Roman thing. I understand how we get there with that one. They've kind of already planted the seeds there. Does Cody versus John move you for WrestleMania?
Sort of, a little bit.
Do you see Cena winning?
If there's title implications involved with it.
Say it's for the title. Do you see Cena winning that?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think him winning the record-setting thing has to happen at Mania. But there's a lot of people that say they think Cena should have to chase to the very end of the year to break the record, which I get that too. That'd be a compelling story as well if he is going to be around all year, which he is.
However they get there, I don't really care. It's going to happen.
Yeah, no, that part has to happen. But I think my main question is, should it happen at Mania?
I think so. Biggest stage of all.
I agree, the biggest stage. But I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with the people that say, hey, let's have him chase all year long. You can do the chase in the Rumble, though. He loses the Rumble. His last chance is Elimination Chamber, and he gets it or whatever. But no, I'm totally there for Cena and Cody. And there's got to be that Randy Orton element, too, just as a fan of that, run in that generation. Randy and Cena.
Honestly, at this point, you could just put on dream matches all year for Cena and it'll work.
Exactly. We talked about that with Kyle, and I just now remembered something. I don't know in the list you'd asked me for like the main wrestlers I watched or whatever growing up in that generation. I didn't say Randy Orton, man. What was I thinking?
Oh, I thought the same thing too, but
it just dawned on me. Maybe it's just because Randy's out of action right now.
Honestly, my five from my generation, there's more. Mick Foley.
Oh, totally. Same on my end.
Kane. Fucking so many. Like, I can't even think of all the fucking wrestlers that I loved growing up.
You have a whole, yeah. What else do we
got? That's it. That's the news. That's it.
Okay.
We somehow managed to drag it out to the hour mark as we usually do anyways, and it was a slow news week.
That is how we roll here on the Top Rope Renegades. That is the hit piece brought to you by RK here on the Top Rope Renegades. I did want to. We're gonna take a break real quick, and I'm gonna talk to RK about something. We gotta check something out, and if we both agree, I'll mention it when we come back to talk about Monday Night Raw.
I'm gonna just say this right now. We're gonna figure out why I hear myself through you. We never actually address the situation. I just bitch about it every time, and we do nothing about it. I want to figure out what the fuck that is, because it's like I hear an echo of myself through you, but then I go and watch the video on YouTube, and it's not there, and I'm like, where the fuck is this echo coming from?
All right, well, we'll take a quick break. We're gonna figure out some situations, and we'll be right back with Monday Night Raw recap. Welcome back to the Top Rope Renegades. This is your Monday Night Raw recap. My name is Kurt. That is RK. Welcome back to the show. We seem to have fixed a bit of the issues we were dealing with. What's up?
Yeah, now we have a new one.
What's that?
Fucking 80s flashbacks. Holy shit.
It was the prime. Anyway.
Good coke then.
That was good. All right. There's no fentanyl. All right. It was good. Let's break down. Let's run through the Monday Night Raw from December 23rd. This is the penultimate final episode on the USA Network for Monday Night Raw, which is crazy to think how long Monday Night Raw has been on television. How long has it been now? 30 years plus?
96. So
there was a text message I sent.
Almost 30 years, 29 years.
In a group chat, people were going back and forth talking about a group chat I'm in with the local racetrack, and not local racetrack, my friends. One of them came out of nowhere and was like, "Have you guys seen the stuff with Vince McMahon?" And I cracked my knuckles and I was like, "You're late."
No, sorry. 30. It would be on January 11th in 2025. Would have been 32 years. The first episode was January 11th, 1993.
Okay, so yeah, that's crazy to think. So now it is going off of
1,649 episodes.
Wow.
It's been on the USA Network since October 3rd, 2005.
Wow.
Actually, it's weird. They were on the USA Network for the debut, and they were on it till September 18th, 2000. Then they went to TNN, which is kind of wild to think about. Spike TV.
Yep.
2000 to 2005, and then they've been on USA Network since, and now they'll be on Netflix for at least the next 5 years.
Plus,
with the option for another 5 years.
I got a feeling that 5 years is going to stick. Yeah, they're going to go to 10. They're going to go to 10.
Oh yeah.
Technically, the rule is they can opt out after 5 years. Do you think Netflix is really going to opt out of this deal?
Unless it's completely bombs, and because Netflix loves to cancel great fucking shit after one season, so
it's true. It is true. But anyway,
there are so many fucking shows on Netflix. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I need another season. Nope, not happening.
Nope.
Mind you, Squid Game season 2, not as good as the first one. Still fucking good though.
Monday Night Raw, we kick things off with Drew McIntyre, who talks about how he went home because a family member passed away after his Hell in a Cell match against Punk. Drew mentions that the only person that reached out to him while he was gone. What? Oh, that only one person reached out to Drew while he was gone. Drew does not believe Sami Zayn when he says that Roman Reigns is a changed man. Drew says he will give no more to anyone and start taking from others. Drew says anyone who has wronged him should sleep with one eye open, and then Sami Zayn music's hit. He shows up. Sami says everyone thought McIntyre was recovering from a brutal Hell in a Cell match. Sami says he's gone through everything that McIntyre went through, and they chose this path and chose to be WWE superstar. Sami says that the fans go through their struggles and losses like they do, which is weird. Is he wrong?
Hey, Sami Zayn's an everyday man. He's a man's man. He's a man's man.
Sami says that just because Drew is angry does not make him special, but if Drew wants to stay angry, nobody will stop him. Drew says his anger comes from a place of pain and wants to know why Sammy wants to fight when he has never beaten him. Drew suggests that Sammy go to his family and leave the arena. Sammy said Drew is right about having his number and that he's not 100%. He says he would rather fight and punches McIntyre in the face. McIntyre begins fighting back. Jay appears to hit. Drew sets up to hit the Claymore. Jay appears. Sammy Jay clothesline Drew out the ring, followed by a thrust kick from Jay. We go to a commercial break. We did mention that these quote unquote around the holidays episodes were kind of phoned in, but pretty hot start to Raw though.
Yeah, I mean, this was McIntyre getting to explain everything wrong with him and why he was so angry, which is all you really need for his situation. He's arguably the biggest fucking villain they have on the show, and now we know why. Which, moving forward should do him some good. Drew's been on a heater all year.
It makes me wonder if he's going to stick around Raw or if he's going to get shipped over to SmackDown. We'll see. You got to have big stars still on SmackDown. I know Netflix wants some of the big names, but you still got to keep SmackDown with some big names, and we'll see what happens with that. First match of the night was a qualifier match, a second-round match for the Intercontinental Women's Championship. Natalya, Alba Fire, and Io Sky. Io Sky picked up the win to advance in the tournament. Right booking here. What do you think?
What's going on with your mic all of a sudden?
I'm not sure. What's up?
You sound like you're underwater.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Io Sky advancing to the, I think, semifinals, which will be taking place on Monday Night Raw.
Now I hear everything.
We're going to have to take one more quick break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. We got to figure out this audio thing. We haven't really dealt with it this bad, but we'll be right back. 1 second. We'll fix this, and we'll be back quickly. Okay, thanks for bearing with the technical difficulties. Right over there, the vape not hitting right.
What's your leader?
I asked if your vape was still hitting right. You had a face going on. I'm gonna make sure that the nick's still hitting. Anyway, I was informed also by RK. There was a Pure Fusion Collective segment before that. Io Sky, Natalya and Alba Fire match.
The Pure Fusion Collective suggests that Sonya Deville take Kairi Sane's place in the Women's Intercontinental Title Tournament to Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce says, yeah, that's a no. I put Io Sky in instead.
And then Io Sky does what? She wins it. So there's probably still some beef there. We get a backstage segment with the Judgment Day where Liv Morgan and Finn Balor are bickering back and forth. I think this is the one where they were on the couch back to back and having one person talk for the other person. Does that sound about right to you, RK? Have you seen?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Liv Morgan, Finn Balor. So we've talked about it before. Finn, when is he leaving Judgment Day? Because it seems to be coming soon. Sooner than later, per se. You think it happens January 6th?
I think a lot of stuff happens January 6th, but
it's got a point.
Soon. I would imagine soon. They're building it up nicely, though. There's good heat between the group members right now.
A backstage segment with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, which they discuss who would get a shot at going against Drew McIntyre first.
Actually, come to think of it, maybe something happens tonight because there is the triple threat tonight, or the 6-man tag team tonight.
Yeah. Which
Judgment Day versus the War Raiders and Damian Priest.
Yep, that sounds right. Chad Gable defeats Akira Tozawa. It seemed like a bit of a throwaway match there, but Chad Gable picks up a win at the. Chad Gable had a really good hot start to 2024, and then I feel like he kind of kind of went down, and now he had a good match with Cody on SmackDown and went over Akira. What would you consider this kind of year for Chad Gable? What we expected, or do you think he should have got the IC title run that many wanted him to have?
I don't know. Honestly, now that you're actually asking me and I'm sitting down thinking about it, I just don't think Chad's that guy.
In the ring, talent is great.
I think he's a role player. He plays his role.
If we are gonna say, I agree, role player, but if there's role players like tier list, I think, man, Chad Gable's at the top. There's so much talent there. We got a backstage segment with Dominic Mysterio and the New Day. The New Day seems to think that Dom is going to be finally someone that they can relate to. Says they know what, Dom says, Dom, you know what we're going through. You know what we're going through. And Dom replies, I don't like Big E, but what you guys did was messed up. The New Day doesn't even have Dominic Mysterio on their side right now. Even he's calling what the New Day did to Big E messed up. Woods calls Dominic tells Dominic that he looks like a broke ass Tom Selleck to end the segment. What did you think of the fact that Tom
Selleck wishes
Dom,
he was Dom.
Yeah, there you go. Even Dirty Dom is like, man, what y'all did to E was messed up. It's really good. It's really good in my eyes.
Yeah, it is good stuff. It's the New Day is this whole angle with the New Day. I want to see where it goes, but I like it. It's perfect, and everybody's just like, whoa.
Dude,
you gotta hope that Big E's coming back and he's been cleared to wrestle, and they're just building this up.
Is there something happening on January 6th? I don't know. We might have 3 hours and a lot of stuff to happen. Damian Priest defeats Dominic Mysterio after Finn Balor attacks Priest. The Judgment Day is beating down Priest after the match, but the War Raiders come out to make the save, thus setting up what RK mentioned. The Judgment Day taking on War Raiders and Damian Priest. Jackie Redmond has an interview with Seth Rollins. Rollins says he's repeatedly tried to explain how he feels about Punk. Rollins says CM Punk needs the WWE, not the other way around, and that it eats away at him. Rollins tells Jackie he has to have this fight CM Punk after seeing him hand-to-hand combat with Roman Reigns and became angry and wants the fans and Punk to see his anger. Rollins says there will be a side of him that nobody has ever seen on January 6th. Interesting words from Seth Rollins. RK, what do you take away from that?
Yes. This is the build-up. I mean, it didn't take much to build this up because the animosity is already there from day one. This is the feud that we should have had at the start of the year that we were taken away from us due to Punk injuring himself. But we're getting it now, and honestly, it's happening on a big time stage, like a debut on Netflix. It's going to be good. This is probably going to be one of the highlights of the show.
Yeah, what's interesting about this to me is I look at it from a classic wrestling fan standpoint. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Is there a good guy, bad guy? Or are they both just over as shit and we're just going to see what happens? Or does Seth become the heel? Because I don't know if Punk can be a heel.
I don't think either. Punk can become a cancer to the locker room.
He could.
All know that.
He could.
Heel Punk, there really honestly isn't much better than heel Punk when he turns it on. You go back to the Straight Edge Society days, man. That shit was so good. But ever since the pipe bomb promo, he became an anti-hero of sorts. And I don't think he could ever go back to being a true heel because he just couldn't get the heat.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, it's like, do you see Punk ever being a heel again?
I would love to see it, but I just don't see how they get there unless he
does some crazy shit.
Completely bashes on the idea of WWE being stupid again.
You know what he should do is just have a moment where he goes, you know what? Woods and Kofi are actually right. Big E is a bum.
I don't think that would do it.
And then the crowd's like, you know what? He's right. We love Kofi and Woods. Listen, I'm beating a dead horse here, man. January 6th is going to be fantastic. Dexter Lumis defeats The Miz after carrying Cross in the final testament, began attacking Lumis. Wyatt 6 make the save. I think on this currently Monday Night Raw, there's supposed to be something between the two teams. Does it sound right to you? Is there a tag match? Or are they still building for that? I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. Damian Priest is backstage congratulating the War Raiders on winning the tag titles. That's leading to as we spoke on the match that is happening on Monday Night Raw on December 30th. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston come to the ring through the crowd, receiving a chorus of boos, of course. They hold commentary accountable for their words that insult Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. Wood insults Barrett further by mentioning he never got back in the ring. Kofi's mom was at ringside. Kofi said that she had taken a 20-hour flight from Ghana to get there. Kingston's mother approached...
Middle seat.
Yeah, middle seat flight. 20-hour flight from Ghana. Kingston approached his mother for a hug before she walked off. Much to Kingston's dismay. Even Kofi's mom doesn't like his actions, RK. It's shit from the New Day.
Well, fuck. He bought her a middle seat 20-hour flight from Ghana. Jesus Christ.
That's kind of on him. Hey, Kofi, you've been doing this long enough. You know you have the money. You could have got her private. Probably.
Fuck, get her fucking the first 3 rows where it's like, semi. Okay.
But yeah. Drew McIntyre in the main event defeats Sami Zayn. Drew continues attacking Sami. Jay Uso comes to make the save, but the new bloodline, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Solo Sikoa attacked Jay Uso and Sami Zayn. They are getting checked on by medical as the show comes to a conclusion. Drew stands tall, and the new bloodline still wreaking havoc. They're not going anywhere. And obviously, they're building towards Solo and Roman on January 6th. But what did you think of Monday Night Raw, the finish, and all that goodness?
For a phoned-in show, McIntyre at least showed up for it.
Yeah, it really was. It was a tough show. It's just I think you say it right, man. They phoned it in, and they're just kind of chilling, waiting to get to what we will have on January 6th. And maybe tonight we'll tune in here after the show and see what happens on Monday Night Raw. With that being said, let's push forward, ladies and gentlemen, to NXT on Christmas Eve. This was as we spoke about in the news, a pre-recorded show. Spoilers had already leaked. We knew what was going on. But anyway, shall we move? Stephanie Vaquer defeats Cora Jade. Kalani Jordan attacked Cora with a kendo stick after the match. Stephanie Vaquer stopped Kalani from attacking Cora, which was interesting. But opening match, Stephanie Cora. Cora looked better than she has, in my eyes, since her return from injury, but not still the old Cora that I know. And Stephanie Vaquer is Stephanie Vaquer. RK, what'd you think of this opening to NXT?
I don't know what you see in Cora Jade, but I don't know. I see her as she's best suited to be someone's lackey, and that just might be her ceiling in wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I'm being honest. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and nothing transpires with her. She was really, really hot and really doing big things before the injury. Then she's been out of action she was out of action, and then she came back, and as soon as she came back, she tore her ACL. And now you're right. She has been serving really well as a lackey for Roxanne, for lack of a better term. Still wondering what they're doing with her. We'll see what happens. But Stephanie Vaquer, man. Stephanie Vaquer. What did you think of the match?
The match was decent. I mean, it wasn't anything that, blows your mind away. Like I definitely don't have to sit here and rack my brain for a better opening match of a show. But it's Stephanie. The build up to Stephanie and Julia is going to be great. When it does happen eventually, that's what we're all going to wait for. Or maybe that doesn't happen until the main roster one day. Who knows? But
no way. They're going to do it.
Julia, Stephanie, Roxanne, Zarya, they're all destined for the main roster, if not in the next year. Soon.
I think Roxanne is the first out of that group. I think she's probably going to drop the title at New Year's Eve to Julia. Roxanne may pop up on the main roster. I think your main event of Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend is Julia Stephanie Vaquer for the title.
Yeah, that'd be a good match for that.
Anyway, let's move forward here. The D'Angelo family are backstage where Stax tells a story about a thief dressed in a Santa Claus suit who got whacked by his mother for trying to steal from them before saying he and Crucifino had their eyes on the NXT tag titles. Just a fun little segment backstage. Lexis King was met by William Regal, who put over Lexis in his improvement over the past months. Lexis continued to reiterate that he was trying his best to be the best version of himself and vowed to get the win tonight. Speaking of that, it is the NXT Heritage Cup Championship match. Lexis King with William Regal at his side, taking on Charlie Dempsey, the champion, with Ren Sinclair. Lexis King is your new Heritage Cup champion, coming by disqualification. William Regal tried to give Lexis the brass knuckles. Of course, Lexis refuses. Regal then punched Lexis in the mouth, causing Lexis to toss the knuckles towards Dempsey. Dempsey picked them up. Referee thinking Dempsey punched, obviously, Lexis with the knuckles, causing a disqualification and a title change, because in the Heritage Cup rules, you can become the champion via disqualification. What do you think of this match, the finish, and Lexis King, new Heritage Cup champ?
Well, it just goes to show if you do the right thing, good things will happen to you, and that's what happened for Lexis King here. He refused to take the knuckles and cheat, and it worked out for him. I even told you during this match, I think this was like one of the more better put together Heritage Cup matches. Usually I'm pretty bored during them, but this match, I was actually invested in it. It's gonna be interesting where they go with this. I mean, they touch on it a little bit later in the show. It's actually quite funny what they do, but this sets up for a did he didn't he moment. I'm sure moving forward between him and Dempsey. It could be a good little feud moving along. It's nice to see Lexis King getting something to sink his teeth into and start to develop.
And William Regal is a opponent in this situation as well. Technically, he is the reason Lexis King got the win, even though he punched him in the mouth. We'll see where things go from there. OTM, they cut a promo backstage declaring they would become champions in 2025. Lola Vice and Stephanie McCourt are backstage trying to calm Kalani Jordan down after she attacked Cora Jade, but Jordan told them to practice what they preach and get out of her face. Kalani on a warpath against Cora Jade. The Unholy Union are back on NXT, taking on Fatal Influences, Jasmine Nix and JC Jane. Unholy Union are going to pick up the win here over Fatal Influence. There was a lot of moving parts here. Caden Carter, Katana Chance were in the crowd. Gigi Dolan, Tatum, Paxley, and Shotzi were also ringside. They kind of all started brawling, causing a distraction win for Unholy Union. What did you think of this women's tag match and kind of all the chaos ringside?
The match was whatever. It wasn't that great. There was some moments in it that were sloppy. The big thing here is a setup to something, to a bigger story. Obviously, they got Unholy Union. They got Carter and Chance there. You got, they're setting up something here, and it's gonna be interesting where they go with this. But I kind of like it.
No Quarter Catch crew, Miles Warren and Tavion Heights spoke backstage where they promised they would win tonight in the number one contenders Christmas Chaos 4-way match. Izzy Dame confronts Zarya and Solruka backstage, saying it's best to not be relying on someone else, be solo, be yourself. But then they get interrupted by Shawn Spears, Brooks Jensen, and Nico Vance. Dame wants nothing to do with Spears and told Zarya she was better on her own. We're continuing the story of Shawn Spears trying to get Izzy Dame to join up with his faction here. I think you're going to say let him cook, and I agree with you. What do you think?
He's up to something. I think he's just moving through the whole roster until he finds a woman for his faction. Yeah. Let's go back to No Quarter Catch crew here and touch on what you mentioned during the show. You don't think, and I don't know either, but Miles Bourne, he does have the ability to wrestle.
Yeah,
but with his with the fact that he's deaf and speech is not great. Not that it's actually as far as being deaf and be able to talk that well is pretty impressive. Do you think it hinders him moving forward? Like legitimately, do you think he has trouble ever reaching that top level?
I do think it does, simply for the fact of cutting promos. And that's not a knocking. It is the fact that he's gotten where he is now. Don't get me wrong. I think he could win a. What do you mean by the top level? You mean like a world champion?
Like, why is anybody in the business to be the fucking top guy?
Fair. no, I don't think he's world champion. Do I think I could see him getting a mid-card title run here and there? It's very possible because in the ring, he's really
talented,
good.
really
He's really
talented.
good. And it's not a knock. It's just sometimes when he's cutting a promo, it is a bit hard to understand what he's saying. But not as bad as others. To answer the question, no, I don't think or the answer is yes, I think it will hinder him to the top. But I will say I hope it doesn't because I do like Miles Bourne and I think he's talented.
Fair enough. I think he is fantastic in the ring, and I think continuing to develop and like I said, he speaks really well for a person that's deaf. It's actually quite impressive. So it makes you wonder if he's going through like speech therapy and shit, and maybe he gets better. I think with the right right guidance and right push, he could be something important in the WWE up on the main roster.
And he's in no better place to get the guidance and I guess coaching.
I mean, they wouldn't be giving him a shot if he wasn't good.
Here's what I look at it. You remember Eugene?
No.
Okay, you weren't watching during the Eugene time. Eugene, I think, I don't know. That's a different conversation for a different time. Anyway, you don't remember Eugene, man?
No,
he was
I didn't watch that really bad era of wrestling.
This was early. This was before Cena really took hold. It was during the Cena era, maybe, but it was like
right I stopped watching. I stopped watching 2003.
Okay, maybe it was after then. Okay, but Eugene was like I think the best way to put it is he was portrayed as a mentally slow person, mentally handicapped person. And the crowd actually. Oh yeah, I'll show you clips.
No, I don't need to see clips. I can imagine. I know what the WWE in those days would do.
He always had his jacket on, and he always had on tights, and his hair was like Bob Ross-esque out there, and he would always like kind of have a stutter. It was, you're right. Let your imagination do it. You could probably figure it out for WWE back then.
There was no. I mean, it was a different era, different time, but there was no PC then.
No. Ashante, the Adonis, with Nikita Lyons by his side. She does come out to help him. He gets a win over Dion Lennox. More drama. Nikita, Carmen, Ashante. Commentary also basically telling Dion or putting over Dion Lennox as he's in the friend zone as well on commentary was interesting. What'd you think of the match and all this soap opera going on between these ladies and men? It's an episode of General Hospital.
No. The only thing out of this match, I could really care less about Ashanti, but Dion Lennox, he's got some skill. He's talented.
We did have a combo about him. So we'll see. I'm interested to see how they go with Dion Lennox and whatnot. A couple things to get through before we get to the next match. There was a vignette for Hank and Tank. They're hyping themselves up ahead of their match later in the show. We get a video package recapping Roxanne Perez's NXT Women's title reign ahead of her match against Julia. This was the moment where I realized when I was putting together the award show, what was I thinking, man? Why did I leave off Roxanne Perez? And I have been pushing the Roxanne Perez movement all year. It's just you can ask RK. I was hyping her up when she had her match with Jordan Grace. I was like, man, Roxanne's got it. There's something about Roxanne. And I leave her off the end of the year awards for female of the year. I'm probably going to recut that. So what I'm saying is probably pointless. But besides the point, Roxanne Perez, I guess for a quick second here, what do you think of just her run as NXT Women's Champion and this 2024 has really went for her?
I'm not a huge fan of Roxanne. Never really have been. But she's had a hell of a year, and she's stood tall throughout the year and on all. She looks good in her matches. I just don't know. There's just she doesn't do it for me.
Okay, fair. Teach their own. Ethan Page cuts a promo where he explains he broke Javon Evans' jaw because he was tired of hearing how great his year was. Page then thanked Evans for being a sacrificial lamb because breaking Evans' jaw, Page regained his smile. This Ethan Page, I love it. What else can we say about Ethan Page?
He's the best thing that they've got going right now, promo wise.
Yeah,
he's phenomenal. You got to capitalize on his heat quickly, and I think you let him to sit down in NXT too long, he's going to lose any ability to move numbers on the main roster. But the dude's destined for the main roster. I mean, he's so good.
I mean, look what happened. He showed up, won the NXT title, easy work, puts together fantastic promos. I mean, I like Trick Williams, but how many times did I say it when they were in the ring together cutting promos? Ethan Page was schooling Trick Williams. Even though
I mean, Ethan Page has 18 years on him.
Fair. But man, it's good. It's good stuff. Main event, NXT Championship, number one contenders, Christmas Chaos 4-way match. The teams of the D'Angelo family, Hank and Tank, OTM, and No Quarter Catch Crew. OTM is going to pick up the win here. Just a lot of shit going on in this match. Chaos is in the name for a reason. There were candy canes, there were interferences, there was Ridge Holland dressed up as Santa Claus. Anything you can think of happened in this match. What did you think of the Fatal 4-Way Christmas Chaos match here on NXT? And OTM coming out on top.
Well, OTM coming out on top was a bit of a surprise, honestly, to not have that.
I think we both thought
but
Hank
overall,
and Tank, right? We both were Hank and
Tank.
Yeah,
Hank and Tank, or I mean,
no quarter.
No quarter. But was it a good match? No. Was it a fun match? Yes. It was fun to watch. Extremely fun to watch. I don't know what else you want from me on that one. It was a fun match.
No. We close things with the NXT champion Trick Williams coming to the ring to address the events from last week. Obafemi interrupts before Eddie Thorpe interrupts. Eddie demands to get a rematch after the match between he and Williams ended in a double pin. Femi declared Thorpe had to wait till after him. Williams then challenges them both to a triple threat match for the NXT title at New Year's Evil, which allows Ava to come out and make the match official. Thorpe goes for a punch on Williams, catches Oba instead. Oba lays out Williams and Thorpe before he had a pop-up powerbomb on Trick Williams. Obafemi stood tall with the NXT title held high to end the broadcast. Very interesting way things went here. You know how I feel about picking up the title and holding it high when it's not yours. But Oba did it. And I guess the question I'm looking for is how do you think this triple threat goes? And yes, you did make
Eddie Thorpe wins.
You did make me say, I hate Eddie. I'm not a big fan of Eddie Thorpe, but what he's been doing has been great recently. This heel Eddie Thorpe has been fantastic. You're saying Eddie Thorpe wins?
Yeah, just because I think Eddie Thorpe is doing really good right now.
I can't disagree, and I'm not a big Eddie Thorpe fan. I just can't disagree. He's on fire right
now. No, this is setting up so Williams or Femi doesn't have to take the pin, but nonetheless, I'm not sure. Oba could win.
I think this also is a good out to give Trick the win, in a sense. But then it sets up, okay, 1-on-1, me and you, Oba, and that's when Oba gets the win, maybe. But Oba is an animal, and it's very interesting to see where we go from here. I'll tell you what, since we are adding Worlds End to our weekly show recaps, we're not going to do a speed run here for Dynamite. Really no point. We didn't watch it. We didn't talk about it. Nothing. So we'll probably push forward to SmackDown to get through that. And unless RK, you want to hear what happened on Dynamite, would you care? Do you want to hear on the Christmas episode of Dynamite? All right,
not really.
It was the Dynamite on 34th Street. Just know that Dynamite on 34th Street. Let's move forward then. Let's get to SmackDown. Before we do that, though, I just wanted to make a comment of all of the shenanigans, RK, we have seen on social media from the holiday tour going on. A lot of fun stuff. It makes me want to try and get to one of these holiday tour house shows. You got CM Punk running out with a towel and a shower cap on. You got Bianca and Jay. I think it was Bianca and Naomi taking turns whapping Rhea on the butt. Rhea and Bianca twerking on stage. Seems like they're just having a good time at a holiday show. Any comments about what you've seen coming out of these holiday tour stuffs?
Just the CM Punk is the only one I saw, and that's
having
the one
fun.
I found the most hilarious.
Punk having fun.
It was fun. I mean, Damian Priest was willing to risk it all for a second there.
Punk's toxic. He's a workplace hazard, man. But he's having the time of his life out there. So
I can't keep a fucking towel around my waist from the bathroom to the bedroom.
That was impressive, wasn't it? He was holding on for dear life, though. Let's get into SmackDown from December 27th. Nick Aldis sends a message to Kevin Owens demanding him to give up the Winged Eagle Championship at the start of the show, with Michael Cole and Corey Graves, of course, welcoming the audience to the broadcast and all that goodness. Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Bayley kick things off against Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany Stratton. And I do want to read it. We are back to live programming. This was a live show. This was not a pre-recorded event. Bianca, Naomi, and Bayley defeat Nia, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany Stratton. We had some moments in this match of Tiffany acting like she's going to cash in again, only to be shut down by Candice, causing some chaos and all that. Bayley, Naomi, and Bianca pick up the win. What'd you think of the opening match? And I guess I kind of skipped over it. The Nick Aldis message to Kevin Owens. Did you like that? Nick Aldis kind of being the GM that he is, putting his foot down.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's going to work really well. That's going to turn out exactly how Nick hopes it'll turn out from Kevin Owens. I'm sure it will be exact. He'll just go in the ring. He'll just hand over the belt. They'll just be done. I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen, Nick. It was a long match to start the show. I mean, they went in at 16 minutes, and they had its moments. I mean, is Candice LeRae great at wrestling? Is Nia Jax great at wrestling? I mean, no, not really.
All right.
That this never ending is Tiffany going to cash in thing is getting really old too.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
They got to figure out they love these never ending stories, and sometimes long term storytelling is great, but Rhea versus Liv for 2.5 years and Tiffany Stratton cashing in 22 times, it's getting old.
There has been a very big criticism of Triple H in the booking of the Money in the Bank briefcase and how he books Money in the Bank briefcases. And I can't say I don't disagree with them. Would we have Drew winning and the cashing in the same night was said it was going to happen. Yeah, so that was the whole story. But man, this Tiffany one has been drug out. Maybe it happens on January 6th. I don't know anymore, man. We'll see what happens. Nick Aldis confronts A-Town Down Under, who showed an invoice, or he gets confronted by A-Town Down Under, excuse me. They're showing him an invoice for the damages caused by Braun Strowman in last week's episode from the Grayson Waller effect. After Aldis kicks him out the office, Sami Zayn appears and tells Aldis they need to talk. After the commercial break, we see Zayn talking to Aldis. Zayn tells Aldis he was at SmackDown to get a piece of the bloodline after they appeared on Raw. And after some bickering between the two, see, this is why I don't like Fightful, man. They act like we were supposed to know that Carmelo Hayes came in the office passing out Christmas cards, by the way. And it was a picture of him when he beat Braun Strowman as well in the card. They bicker, they being Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes. And then it is booked Zayn versus Hayes. And I think it's booked to be the main event match of SmackDown. Is Sami Zayn coming to SmackDown? I think is my question coming out of all that.
Yeah, it was a very long-winded way to get there. I kind of got lost in your little rant there, but
Fightful being Fightful completely left out Carmelo Hayes being there until the very end, where they say after some bickering between the two, Aldis books Zayn to face Hayes tonight. Where throughout the whole paragraph here, they didn't even say Hayes was there until the very end. But make it make sense. Carry on.
Sami Zayn probably does end up on SmackDown. He's probably not. Netflix is it's going to be the big dogs on Netflix. They're going to find a way to get Cody over there. They're going to find a way to have Gunther there. I mean, they already have Gunther there because he's world champion. But what?
Probably gonna have Cody pulling double duty.
Maybe. I think they get that title off of Cody and leave it on SmackDown. But nonetheless,
Interesting hot take.
But they also want Reigns there. It's just Netflix is going to be stacked with talent, and it's going to create some issues, I think. But we'll see what happens.
Braun Strowman defeats Austin Theory. Theory really didn't have a chance in this whole match. He had a couple moments of where, oh shit, Theory. I mean, he picked up Braun a couple times, but really no chance. What'd you think of this match here?
Yeah, was that even a match? I mean,
well, I gotta ask the questions, man. It is what it is. Kevin Owens cuts a promo from his car saying he would go to the arena, but only to meet with Nick Aldis on his own, and then they could talk. That is Kevin Owens laying down the line here. Piper Niven appears in the ring to host the championship celebration for the first ever Women's United States Champion, Chelsea Green. Chelsea comes out to brag about being the first champion ever. She is the youngest. She is the oldest. She is the hottest. She is the longest reigning. All of them are facts. She tells no lies. Brags about being that and felt it was her necessary.
Michael Cole felt the need to point out that she's also the shortest reigning United States champion in history.
He's a hater. He's a day one hater, man. Gotta throw negativity. Is he wrong? No, but he's got to be negative about it. She felt it was necessary to give credit to the one wrestler, the one woman who was with her all along on the road herself. Green then wished Michin good riddance and said she was shocked Michin made it that far in the tourney. Green then challenged the crowd to ask what they could do for Chelsea Green because this year would be the year of red, white, and green. Michin appears, interrupts, and says she would have been champion if it wasn't for Piper's interference. Said she would give them the ass whooping they deserve. Michin attacks Piper with a kendo stick for going for Chelsea, but Niven picks Chelsea up and they leave through the ramp. Chelsea Green, what'd you think about this thing?
Chelsea Green continues to be Chelsea Green, and this win is just going to inflate the ego even more, which is great because she's so fucking good at it. Michin, we pointed it out right away, but holy fucking baby oil, Batman.
She was oiled up.
She posted a tweet on X, and she's like, "Got to thank AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows for introducing me to baby oil."
Yeah, it showed Michin. Good stuff though, of course, as we said, from Chelsea Green. Just saw a news article on the side there. Anyway, Nick Aldis and the Pride are confronting the WWE Tag Team Champions DIY.
Whoa, what?
Well, see, why do they keep doing that? This pisses me off about Fightful so much. I'm reading directly.
Why would you even read that?
Why are they calling them the Pride still? Nick Aldis and the Street Profits confront the WWE Tag Team Champions. Here's how fucking stupid Fightful is. I'm sorry. I'm about to rant a little bit. So I'm going to read directly what they say, RK, and you're going to laugh your ass off. Nick Aldis and the Pride, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, and B-Fab confront the WWE Tag Champs, DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa to ask them who attacked the Street Profits. It's right there. Why are we still calling them the Pride? And then why in the next match do you have the Street Profits, but up there you're still calling them the Pride? If it wasn't so easy to scroll through and access Fightful, I would totally use something else. Or take my own notes. I'm sorry. To you, RK, I apologize. To those watching.
You're the one who keeps reading from Fightful, man.
And every time I take my own notes, it's fine.
Go read from 411 Mania or something. I don't know.
I guess. Anyway. Basically, they're asking DIY who attacked them. Aldis brings in witnesses. Pretty Deadly's Elton Prince and Kit Williams, who revealed that the people that attacked them were Los Garza, but they were going to say Gargano, but then they got a little look there from Tomasa. They ended up saying it was Los Garza, Street Profits, and Los Garza brawl. Before Aldis makes an impromptu match to the ring, they go. Street Profits taking on Los Garza. Street Profits pick up the win. via the Doomsday Blockbuster on Garza. I mapped those all together, starting from the backstage segment to the match. RK, what'd you think of all this tag team turmoil per se?
Well, apparently Berto and Angel are now Los Garza again. It's been a while since they've been called that, but great way to just get back into it. No, it is. That is what they called them, but they haven't called them Los Garza in a long time.
Oh, I didn't even catch my mind when watching the broadcast, to be honest with you. Huh. Okay.
They've been booked as Berto and Angel for like the last few months at the very least. And now they're
Los
booked
Garza.
back at Los Garza.
Well, and they were booked as when they came out as the faction, Legado with Del Fantasma.
Yeah.
So
it's been a hot minute since they've been called Los Garza, but
yeah.
All right. It was a good match. It was actually a really good match. Street Profits are great.
Yes.
They just don't seem to get enough love from Triple H. I wonder why.
Don't know. Andrade calls out Shinsuke Nakamura and a vignette to get a shot at the Intercontinental title. This match is made official for SmackDown the following week. So in the main event match, Sami Zayn taking on Carmelo Hayes. Sami Zayn is going to pick up the win over Carmelo via disqualification because, well, Braun Strowman came out first. Technically, Braun put his hands on Carmelo, so Carmelo should have got the win. I think we talked about that when it happened. But besides the point, they're giving it to Sami because the Bloodline laid out Sami in the ring as Strowman chased Carmelo. After he beats up Hayes, Strowman continues to beat up Hayes, but he looks back to come make the save. However, Jacob Fatu and Tonga lay out Strowman before Sean. They have their full names in here. Daivari, Shade Helms, Dick Aldis, and Army referees come to stop the beatdown. I'll stop there before we get to the ending of the show. The match itself, what'd you think? And the Bloodline wreaking havoc on Sami Zayn again. And Braun Strowman being involved, interestingly enough. And learning something. I know you're going to go ahead on it. Learning something we want now. And we didn't think we needed, but now we want it.
Well, they've done this twice now, and they better get to both these matches now. But yeah, we need Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. I just need to see Jacob Fatu Samoan drop that motherfucker, and it's going to be amazing.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so now it's Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu, and now Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu. We need it. We need it. The match itself, though, Sami, Carmelo?
Yeah, it should have been a DQ win for Carmelo, honestly.
That's what I said. Strowman put his hands on Melo first.
But I guess, it's all
he
subjective.
He didn't throw a punch.
Yeah, no, at least, he didn't have Hayes beating Strowman straight up again, because that'd be completely believable.
He didn't technically beat him straight up, to be fair.
Well,
he got a 10 count.
Fair.
And shout out to Jessica Carr for doing the job and, actually counting to 10.
I mean, I feel like Braun was getting up on the ring before she counted to 10, but
she was doing her job. She's not like these other referees that makes illegal pins. At least legal 1, 2, 3 counts, man. Charles.
Hey, you be nice, Charles. I saw a video of him. He takes down the ring after events.
Yeah, he's legit, man. He's diehard. He's through and through. WWE through and through. Hall of Famer. Charles Robinson. Hall of Famer. For sure. After the attack, Nick Aldis is still in the ring, and here comes Kevin Owens. Owens tells Aldis he would only give back the winged eagle title. Rhodes took it from him. What? After the attack, Kevin Owens confronted Nick Aldis. Fuck this, man. Owens wants a rematch for the world title, saying he won fair and square. Referee cheated. He pinned him. All that. He would only give the wing title back if it was in a rematch. Aldis refuses, but Cody Rhodes is back. And he interrupts, saying it was his responsibility to take the winged eagle title from Owens before challenging Kevin to a ladder match for both titles. Aldis makes this official. At the Royal Rumble, it will be a ladder match. Both titles will be hanging above the ring at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana on February 1st. Owens puts his hand out to shake Cody's. Cody, of course, not shaking his hand. Then he gets attacked by Kevin Owens, attacks to the neck. Kevin Owens stands tall to end the broadcast. Fightful's rundown was terrible. RK, you can probably make better sense of it and talk about what you thought of the final segment of SmackDown and how you feel moving forward with the ladder match at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big time match. And it's how you get the title off of Cody.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad, man.
Yeah, I think that title stays on SmackDown, and they got to get it off Cody, and I think this is the way to do it. Fightful sucks horribly.
Yes, it's true. Now, when I go to the World's End,
honestly, when they were leading up to it, I was so pumped for it, and I was just like, "Oh, let's go!" And then they got to the ladder match. I'm like, honestly, that's going to be one hell of a banner match. Kevin Owens has been in some pretty big profile ladder matches in his career.
Yeah. So the reason being, Cody's words were a ladder match because there's nothing that can stop. You know, you got to climb the ladder. That's how you win. No referees, no nothing. I am ready for that match. Hopefully, I get these tickets squared away, and I am in attendance to see that live and in person, live and in living color. They say. Final thoughts before we move forward to AEW Worlds End, which we watched, and we're going to break it down and talk about what we thought. Final thoughts on, I guess I'm really just, is Kevin Owens going to be world champion in 2025? That's what I want to end with SmackDown.
I literally just said that he will.
I thought you were saying it in a. That's how they get to. You mean it? You think Kevin Owens is world champion?
Yes.
All right. I agree, but also I'm skeptical because,
it doesn't matter. Yeah. They're gonna want Cody on Netflix. They're not gonna have Cody pulling double duty because that's a lot of travel.
It's true. It is true. All right. With that being said, we talked about it. We said it. We watched it for one night only. RK, we returned to AEW to watch Worlds End. We watched Worlds End last year. It was a bit of a letdown. And we went in with open minds, per se, to this pay-per-view. We have not watched Dynamite. We have not watched Collision. None of that. We know very little about the storylines going in, but that RK is the good, beautiful thing about AEW pay-per-views. You don't really need to know the storylines. Just go in wanting to watch and expect good wrestling matches. And before we get into it, I think that's what we got. What say you?
AEW's pay-per-views, they're never they definitely don't put on a lot of bad matches. They usually definitely do have very high profile, very well laid out matches. The big caveat to that though is, a 7-hour pay-per-view it gets very fucking tiresome. Mm-hmm. And I was worried that was going to happen here again tonight. By the end of the show, we found out that wasn't true at all. I was actually quite shocked by the runtime of that, which actually might have hurt their main event, where they could have probably went longer, but we'll get into that. But nonetheless, going into this, I looked at the card and I was just like, this actually looks like a banner card. That's maybe the only match on this card that could be a letdown is the Takeshita Hobbs match going into it. But the card itself sold it. It was a good, well laid out card.
So a total of 8 matches were set. One of them we didn't know who the
we didn't know. We
didn't know, but we'll get into it right now. On commentary, of course, Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and Nigel McGuinness. Jim Ross would close out the show, doing the final 2 matches with the broadcast team. Kick things off with the AEW Continental Classic semifinals matches. There are 2 of them. The finals will take place later in the night. Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher. Will Ospreay busted open in this match. Pretty good. A lot of blood. He defeats Kyle Fletcher with a Styles Clash to get the win, advancing to the finals of the Continental Classic later in the show. What do you think of this Ospreay and Fletcher match?
This was a great match. It truly was. Fantastic back and forth, the blood, everything made Ospreay feel like an underdog in the match, which is weird. But Kyle Fletcher is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not a huge fan of his, but he is very good. He's definitely not the next Randy Orton or the fucking
Australian Ospreay.
Somebody's tweeted Sanjay Sutt or whatever his name is, Anjay Sutt, or I don't know, some fucking critic posted that this guy's the future star of not just AEW but all of wrestling. He will carry the business moving forward. Yeah, okay. Calm down. But nonetheless, he is good. Ospreay's fantastic. How he feels like an underdog in this match and comes out on top is impressive because he really shouldn't be the underdog, but he was in a way. Nonetheless, through all that long rant, I just had to get to the part that really pissed me off is Dave Meltzer fucking posted on X. He literally said, I've been racking my brain all week, but I can't think of a better opening match ever in the history of wrestling than that opening match between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Like, get off his fucking dick already. We know you want to give him 5-star matches before he even starts match, and then you only go up from there. I get it, okay? But nonetheless, that could be argument for top 10, top 5, top 3, maybe. But to just go straight to it, racking your brain, like, you have to think really hard there, Dave, because you instantly delete all of any of WWE's matches because you just don't regard any of their matches as being good ever. The fact that you didn't give Bryan Danielson one single 5-star match in like 2,000 matches in WWE, but in 100 matches in AEW, you gave him like 17 5-star matches, tells you right there exactly how you feel about anything. But nonetheless, no, just simply no. It was not the greatest opening match of all time. It was good, but not the greatest. Calm the fuck down, Dave. I can think of 2 right off the top of my head. Fucking, okay. Bret Hart, Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10 opening match, fantastic. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero opening match at WrestleMania, fantastic. I don't know. We could go into a whole list of it.
Was it Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio opening up a SummerSlam, I think?
Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, another one.
And I'll say it every time we talk about Dave Meltzer and talk about star ratings. Kurt Angle, no 5-star matches ever from Dave Meltzer.
Ever.
Insane. Let's move forward. The next match in the AEW Continental Classic, the next semifinals match, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada taking on Ricochet. Okada is going to pick up the win over Ricochet, of course, with a Rainmaker. A hilarious moment in this match where Okada mocks Ricochet by running really fast off the ropes. What's he going to do? Stops and smacks the shit out of Ricochet's bald head. What did you think of the match? And yeah. Yeah.
That was a quick recap. Okada looked good in this match. Ricochet, buddy, what are you doing? I don't know if the heat he has right now is, I mean, obviously desired for him to have a bit of heat, but at this point, I don't know if it's the kind of heat that he should have at this point.
Okay.
Ricochet as a heel just doesn't seem right to begin with, but to be a heel, you need to have a strong sense of cutting a promo, and this dude got absolutely roasted on X by somebody. Man, I don't know. Man. Like, does Ricochet really think that he's in a better place right now? Like, he's been made to look like a fool. Bobby Lashley basically castrated him on live TV on Dynamite, and then he gets toilet paper thrown at him on Collision. Then he gets toilet paper thrown at him on a pay-per-view. And then Swerve comes out and continues to just make him look like a little bitch and throws more toilet paper at him. Like, why? Is this good? Like, am I missing something here? Is this good for Ricochet? Is this better than what he was getting in WWE?
Maybe they're building. Maybe this is gonna. So yeah, you hit on it. Swerve came out wishing him a happy new year. Nana gave toilet paper to the front row. They covered Ricochet with toilet paper. And you could see the look on Ricochet's face was pure pissed off. Maybe this is something to push him to snap, and maybe we get a different type of Ricochet in 2025. We'll see. We'll see. I know he has a Wrestle Dynasty match set for against Zack Sabre Jr. actually for the New Japan.
Yeah, he's
World
going to lose that too.
So we'll see what kind of Ricochet we have here very soon this coming weekend. So stay tuned for that.
But hey, yes, Ricochet, the story with Braun Breaker is still there. You can go back and finish that. That'll be good.
We kept making jokes while watching that. Imagine if Braun just shows up, spears Ricochet, says I'm not done with you, and just leaves. Just leaves. Long-term storytelling, ladies and gentlemen. Renee Paquette interviews Will Ospreay backstage, where Ospreay said he would fight with every single inch of his body despite being injured. Ospreay promises he's going to go to Disney World if he beats Kazuchika Okada. States that Okada has always had his number. He's faced him 11 times, and Okada's won about 8 of them, which is true. Okada is the mentor, or is the mentor.
Ospreay has never fared well against Okada in matches, period. There's always great stories there. And honestly, this might be one of the better promos that Ospreay has cut that I've seen. It was very good. Very entertaining, funny. The part where he legit looked like he actually did get dizzy. Like he lost a lot of blood in that first match. I honestly bladed a bit deep there. But man, that was a good promo. I enjoyed the shit out of that promo. That was fun.
Up next, AEW Women's World Championship Tijuana Street Fight. Mariah May, the champion, defending against Thunder Rosa. Mariah is going to pick up the win with a spike pile driver off the apron through a table. This match seemed to go pretty quickly. Not a bad match, fun match. What you expect from a street fight. Mariah picking up the win, still your champion. What did you think of the Mariah May Thunder Rosa match?
Any hardcore matches in AEW are usually really good because they actually go hardcore. It was entertaining. That spike pile driver through the table was a cool finish. The Thunder Rosa's father being there involved a bit. It seemed like a weird angle. It didn't really seem like it added much of anything to the match, but I guess they did it. It was a fun match. It was a good match.
Dynamite Doesn't Ring. The Dynamite Doesn't Ring match. MJF taking on Adam Cole, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett.
The Dynamite what?
The Dynamite Doesn't Ring.
What?
The Dynamite Doesn't Ring.
Why do you even read that?
There are AEW marks at Fightful too, and they can't even get that shit right. And I just read, listen to this shit. MJF tried to lay out MJF.
The Dynamite Doesn't Ring. You said it the first time, and I was like, wait. And then he said it the second time. I'm like, no, he did say that. What the fuck?
MJF, Adam Cole, Dynamite Diamond Ring match. Taven and Bennett ringside protecting the ring. So MJF tries to lay out MJF, according to Fightful. MJF tries to lay out Cole, but Roderick Strong ran MJF out of the ring. MJF got on the ramp, was confronted by Kyle. Oh, that's afterwards. Anyway, there was a moment in the match. It was MJF's going to fight the win. He's still the Dynamite Diamond Ring winner still, even though Cole just like fucks up MJF. What did you think of the match? We'll talk about the post match afterwards. MJF, Adam Cole. And before you go, I just want to say it feels like MJF has fallen off a little bit to me. I can't figure out what it is.
Going into this pay-per-view and looking at the card, I had concerns about the Takeshita Hobbs fight match. I didn't have any concerns about this match. I'm like, it's MJF, it's Adam Cole. They're going to put on a banner. This match was probably the worst match of the night, in my opinion. Which is wild to say, being MJF and Adam Cole. But Adam Cole is a shell of his former self. And that's not even a joke. That's not a shot at him being skinny or anything, which seemed to be the big thing lately about, body shaming or whatever. That's not a crack at that. It's just he is literally a shell of what he was in NXT in the Undisputed Era. Whether that's from the injuries or it's just from poor booking or it was the disaster of the Devil storyline or whatever, Adam Cole is not it's not Adam Cole, and MJF is just. I think he's also a victim of poor booking and poor storytelling as well. I mean, this whole thing was not good.
Yeah. Basically, MJF tries to run off with the ring. Gets confronted by Kyle O'Reilly on the ramp. O'Reilly got MJF in the ring before he and Strong hit the high-low on MJF. Cole punches MJF with the Diamond Dynamite ring before spitting on it, throwing it back at him, and embracing with Strong and O'Reilly. Undisputed Era kind of back together, missing Bobby Fish. Anyway, let's move forward to the AEW International Championship match. Kenosuke Takeshita taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. Takeshita's going to pick up the win with a Raging Fire Driver. Man, I'll just say I like watching Takeshita in any match, and I thought he did a good job carrying this match. Hobbs did a pretty good. Hobbs looked good, but Takeshita really stands out every time I watch him. What'd you think of this one?
It was a great match up until the finish. The finish made no sense. I mean, Hobbs taking off his knee brace just for Takeshita to finish him. It's like, what was the point of that? But okay. The ending was weird. A lot of the matches were great until the ending, actually, tonight, honestly. But it seemed weird because all the matches, they didn't have any really super long matches. They all came in around 15, 20 minutes, and that's not AEW's usual style, and it just seemed weird. And I felt like they rushed some of the finishes. It was a good match, though. They beat the shit out of each other, which you expect from two powerhouses. And seeing Takeshita kind of throw around a dude the size of Hobbs is impressive as fuck.
Which
Takeshita is just so fucking good. He's so good.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing his matches he has in place for Wrestle Kingdom weekend and Wrestle Dynasty. Can't skip this part. Renee Paquette interviews Kazuchika Okada, who simply stated that Will Ospreay was his little brother and was at another level. However, he declared that Ospreay was not on his level for calling him a bitch, of course, ahead of the finals for the AEW Continental Classic. AEW TBS Championship match. Champion Mercedes Moné taking on Chris Statlander. Mercedes Moné picks up the win with a seatbelt clutch per Fightful. Afterwards, Statlander was given a standing ovation from the crowd after the match despite the loss. And I just wanted to put out, RK, this was the longest women's match in AEW history.
It's also the longest match on the night.
Yep, this was the longest match in AEW women's history. Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné. And I'll be honest, man, it was a good match. I enjoyed this match. You said it, and I agree with you. It was better than that match that Meltzer thought was the greatest North American match of all time between women. I enjoyed it. Chris Statlander's fantastic. Mercedes looking good, like some shades of her own self. You can see it. What did you think of this TBS Championship match?
Yeah, it was a great match. It was the longest match on the night, which is wild, but it was cool because it worked. It didn't feel like it was 25 minutes long, but it was. I found there was a couple moments where it was like Monet kicking out of some of the shit that she kicked out of it. So it's like, yeah, okay, probably not. But that's how AEW goes about their shit. That's the worst takeaway from this match is maybe don't have the 20 near falls like that in a match of this importance, but that's what they do. So it's kind of par for the course. But Chris Statlander, she is fantastic. Honestly, like AEW has quite a few women talent that are fantastic and that they've grown in my opinion, likes of Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander,
which
Willow Nightingale.
Thunder was there at the beginning. We didn't watch.
They grow.
You're saying personally?
They have their homegrown talent, like that they built through the company, and then they have Mercedes just sign and they give her everything. I think it's still a mistake.
It's true, sadly. And the TBS Championship still seems to be more important than the AEW Women's World Championship, which is weird to me. So we go to the AEW Continental Classic Finals, the Continental Championship match. All right. When we come back, we will break down the final two matches of AEW's Worlds End. RK is a businessman, and he's busy let him take his call. So when we come back, we have the AEW Continental Classic Finals between Kazuchika Okada and Will Ospreay, and a surprise after this match. And of course, the AEW World Championship Fatal 4-Way match, Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, and Switchblade Jay White, and the pop surprise that happened after this match as well. You are, of course, watching the Top Rope Renegades This Week in Wrestling. We will be right back. Alrighty, welcome back to the Top Rope Renegades. We got 2 matches to wrap up here for World's End. Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, the finals for the Continental Classic. Kazuchika Okada picks up the win with a Rainmaker, of course, beating the young one, his protege, Will Ospreay again. The match itself, RK, before we get to the after happenings, I love, it's Okada, it's Ospreay. It's always going to be a good one, and it was. They've had better, but what'd you think?
It's Okada Ospreay. This is probably the first time I've seen Okada in AEW look like Okada, to be honest.
Yes.
Ospreay will definitely bring that out in him, though. Those two are two of the best for a reason. And thankfully they had enough, sense of mind to get to this match the way they did. Man, the last minute of that match was insane, and that's what you always expect from those two, is they just picked it up. After going for 18, 19 minutes at that point, they just pick up in the last minute and just go hard. And at any point, either of them could have won, and obviously Okada winning here is the right choice. A match like this, I mean, Ospreay's lost to Okada so many times, and it's always going to be, his crucible in his career, and but fuck, so good. These two are just so good, and when they go against each other, they show why they're the best.
Yeah, and it kind of sets up that narrative, right? Of you have a bit of a story here of Ospreay just can't get it done against Okada when it matters. He just can't.
And also the way they finished it. I mean, it wasn't like he got beat. It was almost like he got caught. There was a moment he got caught, and he just got caught in a mistake for half a second. He didn't really feel like he got beat here.
Mm-hmm. Got caught. Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3. Simple as that. After the match, Christopher Daniels appears in the ring to reveal he cannot hand Okada the Continental title because he was no longer an EVP. However, another man could. Cue the best bout machine. Kenny Omega makes his AEW return, hands Okada his title, and the tension was there between these two. No words exchanged, just a stare down. Here's your title. Kenny Omega back in AEW. And we were close to his match with Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty. God, it was good to see Kenny Omega. What'd you think? I mean, Kenny.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's AEW needs Kenny. They really do. If there's anybody that can help turn it back around, it's not a knock at anybody else in that company. It's just Kenny's that guy. He is Kenny that guy.
When he is going, the best wrestler in the world.
It's not even a question.
He is so good, and I debated and I flirted with it early when we started doing this show. Is he really the best in the world? I was kind of on the Ospreay train a little bit, but then you kind of come to your senses. You're like, no, Kenny Omega is that guy.
You look at Ospreay, and he's great. He's absolutely fantastic. This is not a knock on him, but he's one style. Fast, flippy, crazy shit. One style. You watch Omega matches, he goes up against Okada, he has a style. He goes up against Ospreay, he has a different style. He goes up against another opponent, he's got a different style. He can adapt to the match that he's in, to the opponent that he's fighting, and he can change up his style. He is multi-dimensional in his ability to wrestle, and that's not a knock at Ospreay. Fantastic. Look, Randy Orton's one style. Ospreay's one style.
Cena.
Cena, one style. CM Punk, one style. Like,
Roman.
They're not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Roman, one style. But nothing wrong with that. Okada's one style. Slow, methodical, power moves. But But Omega can go from the flippy shit to the power moves to the technical wrestling to
and not have a lapse. He's fantastic at all of them.
So good. Omega might just be the greatest wrestler of all time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not. It is a good argument. He is in that case, hands down. He is back on AEW. The main event, AEW World Championship 4-way match for, of course, the AEW World title. Jon Moxley, the champion, defending against Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, and Switchblade Jay White. Moxley hits the Death Rider on Jay White to pick up the win. We'll get to the after the match stuff here in a second. My reaction was, oh, wow, that match ended a little quicker than I thought it would, and the ending wasn't what I expected. Maybe that's because I'm used to long-running AEW pay-per-views, but the ending came pretty quick, and overall, I thought it was a pretty good match. What say you, RK, about the main event of World's End?
Yeah, it was nonstop action from start to finish, and it was cool. The dynamic of the 3 against 1 to start out. It's the way you go, Team AEW taking down Moxley. That's what you got to do. And then the flipping of eventually it is a fatal 4-way, and it is every man for themselves. And how they got there was totally cool and everything, and the build up and everything, and all that was working. And then all of a sudden it just ended, which was just weird as shit. Everybody got in like a flurry of finishers. Everybody got their moment to shine, and then it was just over. And it was just like, what?
Yep.
This is one of those matches where it could really benefited from being an AEW style match and not a WWE style match, and that's what they went for here. They went for a WWE style match, which, in a weird way, just sucked.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can spin that going, oh look, see, you say WWE style matches suck. It's like, no, it works for WWE because that's their style.
Yeah,
AEW has their style, and the way that this match was going, you would have expected like a 30-minute match, but we got a 15-minute match. It just seemed weird. It was a good match. It was just it stopped. It was done.
Mm-hmm. After the match, the Death Riders were set to attack Jay White, but Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, FTR come out to make the save, but they're not alone. Adam Copeland is back to help them make the save. FTR lay out Yuta and Castagnoli before Copeland and Moxley have a stare down. Mox goes for a lariat. Copeland evades, hits a spear on Mox before locking in a pipe-assisted crossface on Mox before Castagnoli pulls Jonathan Moxley out the ring. Adam Copeland gets the mic eventually to work and called out Moxley, saying that rated FTR, we're taking it all. Rated FTR stands tall to end the broadcast. Adam Copeland's back, so there's that. Pretty cool.
I didn't see that coming, to be honest. Nope. That's cool. They had a surprise.
FTR.
It was reported before the pay-per-view that it was rumored that Kenny Omega would be back for the show, just not known what capacity he was going to be back in the show on, but it was rumored. But no rumors of Edge being back this quick. He was shooting Percy Jackson season 2 or something, and then he wouldn't be back until like late January. And so him coming back here, legitimate surprise, and AEW can benefit from continuing to do stuff like that. Stop giving away your spoilers before every fucking show.
You don't have to tell Meltzer everything.
So, I mean, yeah, it was cool. Man, of course, this brings up all the IWC fucking just up in arms going instantly, oh, rated FTR, rated R, rated FTR, or whatever it is way better than CM FTR. It felt like, Edge actually adds something to the group where when it was CM FTR, he just stood on the outside of the ring and just waited to be tagged in and get gassed in 5 seconds, add absolutely nothing to the group. It's just like as soon as anything happens, everybody defaults back to CM Punk. It's just like you guys cannot get that dude out of your fucking heads. You guys say and instantly anything happens. As soon as rated FTR is way better than CM FTR, it's like who even fucking why is that even a conversation at this point?
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb.
But
it truly is.
I am interested to see where this goes. I mean, I kind of want to tune in to see what's going to happen, but they're going to have to do a bit more before they get me back. Yeah, but they're getting there. They're close. They're making things interesting.
Let's head back here to the main title screen because it's time to wrap this week's episode up. Episode number 34, final episode of 2024 for the Top Rope Renegades here. Let's close things out, RK, with your show of the week. What took the cake for you this week?
The only one that had a ton of substance to it was World's End, honestly.
Agreed. I agree. World's End I was entertained from start to finish. I really was. I will give it to World's End. This raises the question now, though: who is your superstar of the week, your wrestler of the week?
Fuck, I'm taking a flyer and I'm going to say Eddie Thorpe. Just because he's been impressive as fuck lately, and he continues to impress.
I was torn between two. My choice is
no, I can't. I got to go Okada, man. Okada looked like the old Okada.
I was going Ospreay because that cut he suffered in that first match, man. A lot of blood, man. Still to put on two bangers, Ospreay. I also was.
You said that was. It's like, holy fuck, that's a lot of blood. I'm like, yeah, it's Will Ospreay though. Do you remember that tag team match in New Japan they had? That was a lot of blood in that match.
Still a lot of blood. I was gonna be cheeky. I was just gonna say Kenny Omega just because it was really cool to see it back. Just because.
Yeah, no, I wanted Eddie Thorpe's been fantastic, but then I've Okada, man. He was just Okada was Okada again. He looks so good.
It was beautiful to see. All right, that's a wrap for episode number 34 here on This Week in Wrestling, the Top Rope Renegades. We will see you guys in 2025. New things coming to the channel. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some live streams, new themes, as you can see, one of them right here. Fun stuff. We're gonna have a great 2025. So for all of you that tuned in this year, thank you. And we hope to see you and grow this more next year. I am Kurt. That is RK, and we will talk to you guys next week.